Good day everyone, Warnever Changes here. In today's video we'll showcase a free-for-all match between 3 players. And those players being me, Ivan, the winner of unofficial Warsaken Blitz and Standard tournaments, as well as Brandon C. Adams, the creator and one of the owners of Warsaken. We'll be using our own decks in Tabletopia environment, and the entire idea of this game is to just be the last person standing. And it also showcases the Warsaken rule set, how it allows a theoretically unlimited amount of players to play in a single game. Though realistically that might be a bit of a hurdle and it take quite a bit of time. Perhaps someday someone will make a crazy game with 100 people or something. But today we will just be playing with 3. We'll be using Tabletopia, and Tabletopia is a third-party client made to simulate tabletop experience online. It's free-to-use client, and you can almost upload anything there as long as you honor the copyrights of the games involved. This means everything we'll do will be manual, and all the mistakes or possible technical or rule-based errors will be on us. And it's a rather accurate representation on what happens when you play this game physically with your friends, which is what people can do since there is a Warsaken physical game Kickstarter going on for the full box sets. And that box allows 2 or more people to play Warsaken physically pretty easily. It's a pretty neat box, to be honest. My plan for this game is to try to be just pacifist, not doing much, just stalling my time and hopefully trying to dictate the others to play against each other. And then just slip in the win in the end. Also, I'd like to mention that this match will be streamed on Twitch, so Raps, Twitch streamer, has the recording with commentary on it. So I believe some of their comments will also come through to my video, because I'm not experienced in voice channels and chats. I'm just recording the game on my end. This means all the speech will come through to my end, so hopefully that won't be confusing. I will be posting links for that on the bottom in the description section later on. Anyways, I hope you will enjoy the match, and let's see how this goes.
I'm good with that solution. And then we can just roll for who goes first.
Should we do that for the actual stream? I mean, there's still 8 minutes for the official event, so
yeah,
people might...
We can do it now if you want. I actually don't care. I don't care who goes first, personally. So if you two just want to roll, and then I'll go either...
Well, we can use the lockwise rule, so the person who starts, the one left to them is the second, and then third, so on. It's easiest to do it that way. We can always have to settle like who goes first, and then it settles the entire table.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Yeah, let's roll. Okay, that's 3.
I'm rolling.
Okay. 1 and Brandon. 4. Okay. So you choose.
So
if it's whatever for you, I can go first. But it's up to you.
Well, since I won, let me think about it.
Let me think about it.
Hey, welcome in, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of Standard Saturdays. Today we are here for a triple threat, a 3-for-all as I'd like to call it, between Warsaken, the creator of Warsaken, Brandon, War Never Changes, one of our residential leaderboard,
I think I will go
first. Standard players, and Ivan, the 2-time Standard champion.
Yeah.
So we got a really special battle on tap for you guys today. And it's a lot different because most of the standards that we've shown you so far have only been one-on-one. This is actually a 3-for-all, so you're going to see a bunch of different mechanics in here, which is really interesting and exciting. You're going to see 2 new leaders that we haven't showcased before in Commander Will and Baron. So yeah, it's really exciting. So we have different camera angles set up. I'll go through the different lineups and things like that. War Never Changes is going to be Will. Warsaken, Brandon is going to be Baron, and Ivan will be Zoff here. So yeah, without further ado, let's get these guys on, and let me just unmute y'all. Also have our wonderful co-host Mitri Man here as well, who'll be co-commentating with me. So all right, you guys should be good to go. You're all unmuted now. So
Hey, how's it going?
Morning.
So we've got about 5 minutes before the official time. Just
Yep.
because we posted it everywhere, I want to give everybody time to come in that may come in to check it out. So yeah, we've been working the setups. I had a couple of minor mistakes that War and Ivan were able to find for me. So we've got the board completely set up and ready to go. And I think we're feeling pretty good about today's game. It's going to be exciting.
it's gonna be awesome. I'm in for this one.
I'm super stoked.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting experience.
I'm interested to see Will in action.
Oh, you will.
So we've got Ivan and War and Brandon in here, and so all of us can talk, which is great. We'll be kind of talking about the game as we go. But then, Drabs, you've also got your co-pilot with you here today.
I do. The wonderful Mitri Man joins us. I've been showing him a little bit of standard, right? Trying to get the standard revolution going here. You know, getting more people into it because I feel after it's funny once you start getting into it and you start really, like I say, unlocking it. I'd say the potential of the cards. It just gets so interesting. Your brain starts working in so many different ways to see what you can piece together. So it's been a really fun ride for standard so far. And I
Hey,
know
thank
Yeah.
you, Drabs, for taking the time to
Yeah, I think-
play me.
I think that's one of the more exciting things about it. Mitri, talk to me a little bit about how you like the difference between what you've seen in Blitz, because you've been playing Blitz a lot, on stream and with friends, and even with your kids, it sounds like. But
Yeah.
how does it feel when you've started to step into some of the details that are happening here? You're seeing now with standard.
Yeah, so like Blitz is, it's basically all like luck, right? It's all in the dice roll, but standard, guys, it's amazing. It's the layers, the details, the cards. Like last night I played Drabs again and I missed a couple little details, right? It's just you got to be very thorough and you got to read what the abilities are, you guys. And like last night I put a card out that I needed a submarine, which I didn't have. Like you just have to really be patient and read, and like it's just the details. It's just way better compared to Blitz. Blitz is fun with stream, but this is just so in depth, so fun. It's a great game. So much to learn.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's the piece that I think is unique about Warsaken with the ability for Blitz to allow someone to kind of like get exposure to the game, try
right.
some of the like the things out. Like you understand compromising, you understand the three different ways to do it. You understand the leader's important to protect. You start learning the card types and you start understanding how to build a deck and what kind of things need to go in it. And then you've always kind of ignored the details on the card, as you've been playing. And then you start getting into the standard and you start learning all the different depths of mechanics and how much detail there really is there. It's pretty
Amazing.
different,
It's amazing. It's so amazing. And thank you, Drabs, for, like I say, you're a great teacher, man. Like I say, I'm pretty confident in my gameplay now. Like I got my, the standard everything down pat, right? It's just like I say, now the abilities of reading and moving forward. But I think I got the game down pat.
Yeah, for a little bit, right? I mean, like it's still gonna take.
For sure, absolutely. I'm never
lot
gonna.
of testing.
None of us are never gonna finish learning it. It's just
Right.
it's so in depth. You can do so much.
I
The
was,
possibilities are endless.
I was telling Brandon as well, like I don't know how many games you've played, but I'm sure you've played a lot, and I know War's played a ton, right? But I was like, we truly haven't like unlocked like. There's certain pre-mades and certain combos that you look. One that I absolutely love is the pawn shop prototype, where you get the restored vehicle, violent tornado, search algorithm combo to get a Roman's prototype out. Really,
You did that on me, Drabs.
yes, yeah, and
You did that. Yeah.
really cool combos like that. But this is just with the pre-made so far. We haven't, like I say, really unlocked what all can be there. There's probably some crazy meta, some crazy mechanics that like you can do that we haven't even discovered yet. So like I'm super excited to see when we can formulate those, and this will actually be kind of like the first little test of that, because they actually got to build their decks, right?
This is going to be insane, incredible.
Right. We'll actually
So,
get
yeah.
to see what they think from it.
That's right, chat. So the decks they're playing with, they've created all these themselves. They're not the preset ones. So this is going to be very exciting.
Speaking about that,
it is actually, I think, hopefully going to be very exciting. There's some fun. I got the pleasure. We all shared our decks beforehand so that we could not be cheating. We shared them at the same time with each other. But we've had time to kind of look at each other's decks, and I had to build out this Tabletopia setup. So I actually am kind of like I've gone through each of the different cards kind of thoroughly, and this is going to be an interesting game. There's a lot of different tactics I could see that each of us were kind of formulating and like thinking the other person was going to do, and who knows which way they were going to go. And it's exciting. I'm excited to share this with everybody, and I think we can go ahead and get started. So why don't we go ahead and draw our opening hands? We've already decided who's going first. We draw 8 cards for our opening hand, and then we have the option for a mulligan.
Right.
So I'm going to let the players kind of think for a moment about their opening hand.
Right. So everybody gets to draw 8 hands, chat, and then they redraw a mulligan, like Brandon just said, if they don't like it.
The interesting part about these decks, as Brandon said, we have that time to go through them.
I am going to mulligan.
Yeah, we all have entirely different way of approaching the situation.
And
I'm going to put my cards back. I'm going to shuffle them a couple more times. Everybody gets a friendly mulligan in Warsaken the first time.
Yep.
And then the next one, gotta pay, right?
Yeah, if you want to have an additional mulligan, your opponents are allowed to draw a card for that mulligan. However, and that applies for each player who mulligans. So in the opening hand, like in a 3-player game like this, it's possible that if we all wanted to mulligan again, which is possible, we would end up with, each getting to draw a card for each of the players that mulligan a second time.
That's crazy.
After that, you would actually forfeit the game and become a loser. And so it would either be a battle between the remaining players, or if there's only one player left, they automatically win. Right. So it's important to understand, like, mulligan is kind of like a cliff. You can get a little close to the edge. You can do it, twice effectively, and then that's it. You don't get a shot anymore. If you're not ready to play by that time, you built your deck wrong, basically.
Yeah.
All right.
And those are formal rules. There's obviously if you're with friends or whatever, you can play it however you want with your friends. But if you were in a tournament, for example,
For sure.
Ivan and Murdak, are you sorry, War. I'm gonna try and keep your name consistent.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of go by
It's
a couple different names, but so War, do you have War and Ivan? Do you guys have any mulligans you want to do?
Okay, go ahead, Ivan.
I will keep it.
Okay, I had a 1 ritual,
Sure.
but I'm gonna keep my
Sure.
second hand, so I'm fine with it.
Hey, thank you for the raid, Sneaks. Welcome in, you guys.
Yes, thank you, Raiders.
Let's
Yes.
go,
Nice.
you guys. Having a fun morning this morning.
The standard Saturday special, and we're just about to kick off. I think they're going to roll to see who goes first now.
That's
Correct.
We already decided, so I'm gonna go first. So I'm
Mhm.
just waiting to make sure that the other 2 players don't need to mulligan anything.
I think
Anybody in the chat, if you have any questions, please type in. That's what I'm here for. I'm going to kind of be trying to answer things and see what they're doing. So if you have any questions, guys.
those that are curious, rolls were 4 for Brandon, 3 for me, and I believe it was 2 for Ivan. So Brandon decided to go first, and we are using lockwise rules. So I will go second, as I'm left to him, and I will be third, as he's right to Brandon.
Sounds good.
Sorry, guys. So Zoff is Brandon, or is that
So I'm
Ivan?
Baron Valoran.
Yeah, you're Baron. Okay.
Ivan is playing Zoff, and War Never Changes is playing.
Wilfred
Will.
Lewis. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Right, let's get started, shall we?
Yeah, I haven't got any verbal confirmation here from those 2. I'm not sure if they're.
I am
Yeah,
speaking. I'm not certain if you are hearing me
did they?
though.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can't hear them right now? Okay, I can hear them. Yeah.
Oh, that explains two things.
It's interesting. Yeah, I can't hear them in the chat.
Can you check? Oh wait, can someone ask him to check on the Discord side if he has accidentally muted us? I'm just
Did
gonna
you
run.
mute him by accident?
I don't think so.
Just checking. Ivan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so only Brandon can't hear us.
Maybe Brandon, yeah, because I can hear you gentlemen fine too.
Yeah, it's weird. I can't hear those two, but I'm hearing both Drabs and Mitri in the chat that we're on, so that's strange. Let me disconnect and I'll read
All right, that usually fixes it. Some minor technical difficulties here, but it works. All right, can you hear us now?
There.
Heavy rain.
There we go. Now I can hear.
Oh, okay, perfect. Excellent.
Me too.
Yep. I can hear both.
Okay, let's start then.
All right, let's
Okay,
start
all
this
right.
out.
Everybody's ready. So I'm going to go ahead and start. So on my first turn, because I chose to go first, I'm not going to reduce any of my timers, nor am I going to be drawing a card on my first turn. I will still produce my resources. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We get one here.
So what he means by that, chat, if you go first at the beginning of the game, you cannot reduce
Yep. You don't draw a card and you
That's
don't
right.
reduce your timers.
your timers, and by timers it means the dice, and we'll show you more when the game gets going, you guys, what we mean by reducing. For some of you new guys.
And that can play a big factor too. So you see Brandon here as Barrett. He doesn't really have any spent territory. He has the seized depots, which would allow him to steal a resource.
Right.
But
right.
for Ivan, he's got the Horde of Resources, which is like a spent territory. So that counter will go down. So that's actually beneficial to go first in that scenario, because then you get like a free extra counter on that.
So
I
by
think first we need just to clarify round
Yeah, I don't-
phrases like draw, reduce, produce, play, and battle.
So in terms of the game phases, so yeah, it would normally be draw a card. If you've had any, so actually the first thing you do is if there's been a battle, you would return your forces or return any weather. And then the second phase is to draw, and then you reduce all of your timers, which right now are being represented in this game as dice. And then after you reduce all of your timers, you would then produce your resources, and at that point, then you can begin gameplay. And so what I'm doing currently here for myself is I'm just I don't have anything to return, so I didn't do that. I didn't draw a card because I'm playing first on my first turn. I didn't reduce timers because I'm playing first on my first turn. Everyone else will follow all of those phases for the rest of the game, and including me in subsequent turns. And then we aren't in tournament rules. We typically do resource swapping just to save time and also to not worry so much about the details and help people just kind of see what we're doing. We're going to explain, I think, a lot better. But in general, I've played now 2 cards with a couple of different timers on them with all of the resources that I had on my turn. And because I can't attack now, there's nothing for me to attack with. I'm going to go ahead and turn the end my turn and turn it over to war.
So just to verify, we are gonna use resource swapping. So normally when expert play, they don't actually swap the resources, since we can remember the replacement rules. But easier to follow per person who doesn't play that much if we just replace the resources. It also makes it easier for people to know what cards we play there. So that's an additional layer here. Okay, I'm gonna draw a card here, and then I'm reducing timers a bit.
See a question in chat about is it beneficial to be first in standard? So it can be, and it kind of depends on your deck and sort of how you built it, as well as your opponents and what you think they're going to do. The way to think about it is you get the advantage of having been able to play and use your resources one turn early, which helps you kind of be ahead in some ways. But you're not allowed, because of that advantage in time, effectively. The counter to that is that you don't get to reduce your timers or draw your one card for your opening hand or for your first turn. And so that's the disadvantage of going first. And so both of those things kind of are in competition with one another. And it's really up to you how you you think about it.
And now I'm gonna explain what I did. I played a search algorithm card, which lets me find the card in my arsenal and put it top of my deck. And to show people I'm not cheating, I put all my cards on the field face down. So once I draw my deck to my hand, they will see I only have the deck and nothing else. And if I leave some cards here afterwards, they can immediately also spot if I am doing any funny business. All right. So let's
We
see.
trust you
guys.
more.
This is huge.
This is just a friendly game. We trust you. We trust you.
That's
So,
first algorithm.
So
Okay,
going into that, is it
What's that,
beneficial
Drabs?
to start in standard? I just wanted to kind of touch on that as well, because you were the first player, you were the one that went first, and you can see he got something big out there. Like he's got a lot of resources, a 3 cost, so that's a pretty huge move. But also, as I was saying earlier, with the spent territories, right? That's another one. Like the hoard of resources here, after 6 turns, it will blow up, right? You spend it, and that will eliminate it, right? So you could choose not to attack this and just know it's going to blow up on itself, right? But if you go first, you get to kind of just get an extra timer out of it. So instead of it being 6, it would technically be 7 because you don't reduce the timers, right? So.
Yeah.
Right.
There's just so many aspects of like whether or not going first is what you want or what's good for you. Like tough to know.
It is for sure.
Okay, so now I put the cards I wanted top of my deck, and now I'm gonna use field research. That lets me draw 3 cards. So I'm just gonna draw 3 cards, and one of them is of course gonna be the card which I put top of my deck.
Alright. Cards.
All right. Let's see.
And you'll see me touching people's cards. That's usually a no-no, but I'm going to do that just to try and help keep things tidy. And hopefully that doesn't offend anybody.
It's fine. We trust you. No worries. Okay, so I did some resource replacing here, so it's easier to understand what I did.
Yep.
Do something big on the field. And that ends my turn. It's your turn, Ivan.
Ivan, then you're up. Ready. Now, just for the audience, we haven't really ever publicly had a 3-way game like this. Like, there's been tons of 3-way games in play testing that have happened leading up to the launch of the set and everything, and which has been really fun. And I've had the luck of being a part of that because we've done it more physically. But with the digital game like this, we just haven't really done these kinds of setups, and so it's exciting for not just I think War and Ivan to see this, but for everybody to try and see what it's like to play against multiple players at once. Because I think a lot of people, I'm not even sure a lot of people knew that could be a thing. So it's exciting to kind of share that with everybody, for the first time.
Yep.
I think as a player, it's I think 3 people and 4 people are like the natural combinations for this one. For example, for 4 players, just replace the resource bank with an extra player, and there you go.
So I traded these resources, as you can see.
Okay, there's a lot of trading going on there.
Wow.
I think just for sake of speed, guys, if we can just kind of not do any resource swapping, and I know that you guys want to do that to help others, but I think it's actually kind of confusing when you're first looking at it. I think most people just want to know that you're playing some resources that you have and that you're putting down. As long as it's correct resources, I think that'll be fine for this game.
Well, I'm fine if you want to play with the expert rules, so sure. So skipping resource swapping, now on the safe time.
I think it'll just
SKG did
That's a
have
question.
a little
You see that,
question.
Drabs?
Yeah, he was asking about, is this the same as Blitz? With you don't need 3 of each card. So
Really
yeah,
not. It is just the
No.
territory part, but everything else is completely different.
You
So the
can go
best-
with multiples. Go ahead.
You go ahead,
Yeah, the
Brendan.
best way to think about it is like Blitz, you really do want to have 4 copies of everything to optimize your probabilities. But you really need at least 3 copies because you can never make a match unless you have at least 3 copies. So in Blitz, to make a Blitz ready deck, you really do need to have 3 copies at minimum of every card that you put in. And ideally you would focus on 4. In standard, you're not required to have any number of cards. You just can't have you can't have more than 4 of any given card, which is the same in Blitz. And so you can build a deck that's, you only have a card that you've only got one of. That, in fact, there are cards in both of these decks, if I'm not mistaken, that are in the same situation where they also only have one copy of a card, and they do it because they're, they want to. They have a card that allows them to go and get that specific one, and so they're not too worried about it, and they're going to be able to, leverage that at the right moment for them. So it is a little bit different the way you construct a deck, but really you're playing a very different level of depth in the game. Are you done, Ivan?
It's your turn.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, Ivan. I'm going to go ahead and draw for my first time.
Yep.
And then I'm going to reduce all my timers. So I'm going to reduce this guy down to 2. And this one will go back to the bin.
Relay's asking, will this, now since you've got this on the 3, are you going to keep this pre-built in here so others can play around with it, or what's the plan with that?
I think we will. I think we will leave it, just because I think there's nothing wrong with anybody trying out the game, and having some fun with it. So I'm totally fine with that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Just be careful that some of these decks are really advanced, so they might be a bit confusing. So
yeah, I think if you want to go with it, it's something you'll have to learn a little bit. But they did the same thing with the other decks, honestly, even though they're simpler. It's okay. Okay, so I've drawn and I've reduced my timers. I have some resources here that I'm going to now reuse because they're conveniently still here for my production. So I'm going to produce this and this, this, and this, and then I'm allowed to steal a resource, but you'll notice because of the ability on my Seized Depots, I have an ability called Pirate that allows me to take an unspent resource from an enemy, or I get to gain a generic. So none of my enemies left anything for me to take, which was clever of them. Now I'm going to take a generic because that's all I can get out of it. And then I'm going to produce my normal stuff as well. And I'm kind of, typically I wouldn't use that ability until my play phase, but my play phase is actually starting now because I just finished production. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and kind of look at what I can play here. So give me just 1 second to think through.
He does have a Barracuda out here, which takes no damage during battle. Can be a great blocker. That's a great card to use for a blocker. Could still be picked off, but really, really good card.
Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead, and this will be the first opportunity for anybody to see kind of like what battles might look like here. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my Barracuda around, showing that I'm going to be attacking here. And I'm going to be attacking Ivan's Pawns Research Centers for a total of 50 damage.
everyone loves pawns. Seriously, everyone loves pawns.
Yeah, thank you.
It's like once there's pawns on the field, everyone goes for it.
I think it's just that, just so that people kind of understand, because resource production also is not a part of Blitz. There's certain territories where double production is expected. Like among the resource types, there are 5 resource types. And generic and equipment both kind of have a special place, where generic is roughly considered a half of a normal resource. You can use any resource to pay for a generic. Also, by the way, my turn is over, Ivan, so and War. So just because I attacked, it should be.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have mentioned that.
All right, so I'm starting there. Just go ahead and finish your thought.
Yeah, so the equipment and generic both, you'll find a lot of resource or territories that produce, 2 or even 3 of those resources. throughout the game, and that's expected and normal. We kind of expect and want people to put one or two of those in their deck. But where we, when we designed the system of resource production, we wanted to make sure that there was kind of a line that was being crossed more carefully, which is more than more than one of either power, food, or fuel. Those territories have really high morale loss. They have really low health, and that's to make them easy targets. So if you choose to put one of those in your deck, you're kind of likely thinking about it in terms of being careful, to protect it more specifically and have something out there to guard it a bit or beef up its health in some other manner, because they're kind of like juicy targets for everybody. The high morale loss is important, as well as just like the weakness of it and locking the opponents out of having those two resources.
All right, so I use my leader ability Insight, which lets me draw a card and also gives me 1 mental. Accidentally gave 2. Also, I have a Colossal Warehouse on the field, which automatically assigns all the resources I produce into it, and they will become any type, so I can use them to replace any resource cost on any card in 1-to-1 ratio. So I'm just gonna put a token here and represent that. And then I'm gonna take 3 resources from the silo and play a card, and I'm gonna put a token here with -3 to show that I spent 3 resources, so you can check it if you want to later. Then I'm gonna spend the remaining resources and play the X6, which takes 1, and face down card here for 2. And we're gonna add a marker here and reduce this by 2, so you know. And then I'm gonna attack, and since you were so mean and attacked Ivan, I think it's only fair that I'm gonna even out this situation a bit. So I'm gonna take my doggo here and poke. Let's see, what should I poke for whoop infantry damage?
Yeah, so this DX8 doggo here is going to hit which territory?
I think I'm gonna take a bite at Sanctuary. It's not much, but it's something.
Okay.
And
Okay,
that's
and
my
then
turn.
yep. So, and I was just going to say to the audience, anytime there's an attack, that is the conclusion of the turn. There's no more actions or moves to be allowed after the attack. So as soon as someone attacks, you can assume that their turn is over and you can begin moving on. In a casual game like this, in a tournament, you would want to officially, inform your opponents that their turn is up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm starting my turn.
What other questions do we have, Mitri and Drabs? I feel like we're doing a lot of monologuing here, and I know I'm talking a bunch, so I apologize for that.
I'm trying to reach chat too. That's fine.
Oh no, you're doing good. I
guys have
want
any
you to
questions,
be able
chat?
to speak on anything that you want to translate, right? And then if there's any space, I'll just do what I do and talk. But so yeah, we got
Great.
no questions right now. Let's see.
Looking character the whole game.
Yeah, so the Infinity was asking a little bit about that Colossal card that War just played. It's a very good card, a very, very good card. A little expensive to get out, but it has covert, so you can't specify it, which is very powerful. And then all of the resources that go to it become like generic resources, pretty much. They don't become generic resources, but they're treated as that pretty much because it's like a 1-to-1 now. So it just makes bringing stuff out so easy and so efficient.
Yes, we should be able to play relay 3-way.
Yeah.
I think Brandon said he might keep it on there.
Yeah, I will keep it on there, and I could potentially be petitioned to try and do like a deck setup using this new 3-way layout for a couple of others. But the way I would, I just wanted to follow up on the Colossal Warehouse thing. So there were a couple of cards that I found consistent among all 3 of us. We all think of them, as good tactics. Everybody does stuff different. The decks are wildly different, but there are some staples that are already showing up in set 1. Colossal Warehouse is definitely one of them. I think all of us had Colossal Warehouse in our decks.
Yeah.
We've probably all played Colossal Warehouse, and we're looking for it in our opening hands. like as an example, I didn't have Colossal Warehouse in my opening hand, so I went ahead and mulliganed. Or I didn't. I think I may have actually had that one, but I didn't have the other card I was looking for. But so the whole point is like, you put like I put 4 Colossal Warehouses in my deck so that I could optimize for getting one on my opening hand, and that was important for me so that I didn't have to wait for it, because it's important for resource management. In set 1, there's very few ways to remove covert, which allows it to be specified, and it's Colossal Warehouse carries the same morale loss effectively as a territory.
Yep.
When it's destroyed, which is important to understand. Like that's a big loss, right? And so ensuring that you haven't it's safe is important. In set 2, which is currently in development,
Okay.
there are a handful of other cards that kind of strategically remove covert from a player for a turn or something like that. And so there's some things like that that'll make Colossal Warehouse and some other covert cards a little easier to deal with in the future. But right now, it's just such a critical card for set 1, and so it's just exciting to see everybody kind of seeing its value and leveraging it.
It's an interesting card as well, because when I first started this game, I thought it was a completely useless card, but the more I played, the more I realized it's a really good one. Also,
There's a lot.
Hmm?
There's a lot of cards like that.
So if people wonder what Ivan did there, he used the sub's 2-point ability push and found a specific drone and showed the card to us. And he was doing that in the meanwhile. So if you missed it, Brandon, do your monologue. It's here. It's the GR current summary. And it's a search mechanic that finds a specific type, he has to show it. So he can just take whatever. When compared to what I did earlier, I just used a search mechanic that lets me find whatever I want, and in that case I don't have to show it, because it can be literally anything.
Yep.
Yep,
And
makes sense.
Ivan had that as well. Ivan had a search algorithm as well. So,
Yeah, always one resource to play search algorithm.
oh, and another one.
Yikes. Wow.
Yeah, we really need to stop this info coming soon. Oh, well. This shows how important it is to try to maintain superiority on Intel, since Intel cards are vital for finding cards you want to use.
Yep.
And since none of us has the Intel difficult world, more Intel than others yet, we all are able to use Intel cards.
Okay, then I'll play Rummage.
Mm-hmm.
So Rummage allows you to draw 4 cards, and since he just used search algorithm to find a specific card and put it on top, he got that card definitely in his hand. Really good combo there.
Yeah, okay, then I will play this one,
Mm-hmm.
Subversion Tactic, and I'll specify board never changes.
Okay, so I have to discard until I have 4 cards left in my hand. So that's at this stage of the game, that is really brutal thing to me. Unfortunately, I still have this. These are all really vital. That's bad thing.
That's a good move, I think, by Ivan.
Actually, I'm gonna take this one back. I'm not gonna put that there. I'm gonna put this one. And,
You can't play that on your first turn, which is really critical, because it's so harsh on turn 1. If you happen to have this card in your opening hand, you're not allowed to play it on your first turn.
Yeah.
Specifically for that, it gives your opponents a couple of like at least one turn to play some stuff before it really starts.
This was really mean, because my hand is really important for a win condition. So that was really annoyingly well played.
You
Great by Ivan.
Yeah, and I have to discard one of my win condition cards here, so that's a bad thing for me.
Ow. Good move, Ivan.
Yeah, that was
So
really
if you're
bad.
wondering what that is,
Yikes,
quickly
you
talk
guys.
about it. It's captured leader here, the WMD. What that does is it says eliminate the card that this is attached to. So
Crucial.
when you play this card, you can attach it to a specific enemy leader eligible for an attack. So they'd have to obviously be compromised. But that leader can't be specified or use any countdown abilities as well. So you can do some pretty crazy stuff with that. Like that's an insta kill pretty much.
Yeah.
Ivan, are you done with your turn?
That's what I
No,
tell you guys. It's very important to read those cards.
I want to draw 4 more.
I wanted to revamp this one, but I just do all my win conditions instead of my certain cards. Oh well.
Yikes.
Well, it's a good hand, but in wrong time.
And I'll play 1 more card.
It's like War's attacking Ivan's pawns next turn. Oh wow, this is gonna be awesome.
But that was a really good move. It really hurt me there. Really hurt me.
And place together here.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yikes.
Blast in Blizzard forces can't attack or block. Okay.
And a weather?
In the air, I'm done with my turn.
Okay.
Yikes.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and return my Barracuda here, and I'm going to draw a card for my turn. And then I will reduce timers. So I'm going to put this back.
That's what I thought, Ivan. Or Infinity, sorry. There's so much layers and depth to this game. It's unbelievable.
Oh man, that really hurt.
So you can see at the top of the screen there how it says Warsaken never changes in Ivan. The number that's next to their name, that correlates how many cards they have, right? So when he played that, he probably already kind of knows, like Ivan probably kind of knows what War's going for and certain things to target, right? So he could have targeted Brandon, but he chose to target
But
War. It might have been more beneficial.
I can say why, because Brandon had 6 cards. And
And I had 8. Yeah.
8, yeah.
Right.
So more value for the card.
More value, exactly.
But then again, I also know you only have 1 of those in your hand, so let's hope you don't regret doing that this early.
That's the benefit of having looked at everybody's deck lists prior, to gameplay, which is a little bit unique.
Yeah, we are
It's
all a bit metagaming. But since Brandon had to make everyone's deck, it's kind of where we saw each other's decks. Or he would be the only one who knows what everyone has.
So I'm going to go ahead and produce 6 resources from all of my territories. And then now I'm entering my play phase, and I'm going to add 1 more generic because of my pirate ability. So I'm going to get to 7. Actually, hang on. That's wrong. Should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6,
1,
yeah.
2, 3, 4,
4,
5,
5, 6.
No, it should be 7. No, it should be 7. Because this one doesn't produce either or. It produces
Produce both.
Okay. Well, I am going to join in on this rummage game and play a rummage as well. And I will draw 4 cards.
Very nice.
That's actually a great card.
Great card.
Yeah, it is. At first sight, Rummage has a bit of high cost there, since it uses 2 power, but if you are able to cover that with some means, like let's say the Colossal Warehouse, which just ignores the price cost and just replaces with the numeric value, it's a really, really good draw card.
Yeah, it is.
Field Resource is probably better if you go for resources from territories approach, but Rummage is way better if you're gonna go with the Warehouse.
And I think I'm going to play this again,
Oh man.
Oh, yikes.
knowing that
Oh,
that subversion tactic that was only the one of is out of the game. I'm going to go ahead and get more stuff.
did you just draw 8 cards?
Yeah, I now have 13 cards in my hand. There is
Guys-
no max hand
you guys-
size in Warsaken, so it's a good thing to...
So what draft card you guys see Brandon in blue there? He has 13 in his hand now. That shows you.
Yeah, it's great.
Yikes.
good.
That's dangerous.
Just checking here a little bit for what I want. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play this card.
Still happy making me this card, Ivan? I mean,
Yeah,
there might be better options on the field now.
I'm going to go ahead and put the
Your
resources
win
under this.
condition.
Yeah, you
besides-
Mm.
Steve, I also can't wait to get my Tabletop. I already got my basement all set up, waiting for a table down here now, Drabs.
Yeah. Okay. So that's awesome, Chief King. We'll talk about that for a quick second. The Kickstarter is still going on, guys. There's still like 2 weeks, I believe, left. Maybe a little bit
It's
longer, and then it's done. But yeah, you can still get into it. Go check it out at warsaken.com/kick. There'll be a link going through chat as well. And go get your physical.
That's the only one that's done, you guys. But you can still get in there, you guys.
I think there's still 2 early bird spots.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
because
think I can't remember if those got taken. I think a couple of people swapped out.
Okay.
Because they sniped it. I'm pretty sure, but I can't be. Go check for sure, because there's a possibility there might be one.
Can I snipe one from a different account? Can I get 2?
Probably not.
Different email?
So I'm gonna use my leader ability here, and I'm going to find a specific Navy force in my arsenal, show it, and put it into my hand. And just because I'm a little bit old school with this, I've done this a whole bunch. I'm just gonna quickly kind of go through and find the one that I want. It happens to be really close to the bottom anyway, so that worked out. And then I will shuffle, and I will put this into my hand.
Nice.
So yeah, he activated Navy. Find a specific Navy force in your arsenal. Show it. So that means he has to obviously show the enemies. And he puts it in your hand and then shuffles his arsenal.
That's a huge one. Yeah, that was a good move.
And I'm gonna put that timer back there. Okay, and I think because I'm gonna spend this at some point. Well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and actually.
Hey, Weatherman Cubos is in chat.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Okay, I think I'm not going to use my final resource. So I think I'm going to decide. I guess I can't attack here. So I guess my turn is over because I can't attack because the weather's in place still. And I'm not going to be making any more adjustments. So it's on to War's turn.
Right, I'm just gonna return my doggo ready here before I draw a card. Alright, and then I'm gonna reduce timers. And Murphy's Law is really strong on this game, for me it seems. Okay, these 2 are ready, and you can check that they use the proper amount of resources. In this case 2, on this case 3. Should be correct. Okay, and the effect resolves, so the DXS gives me 2 resources. Let's go to the warehouse, and I'm gonna use Advanced Weather Station's ability, which lets me find and eliminate 2 weathers from an enemy arsenal, and then they shuffle their arsenal. And I will be using that ability on Brandon's arsenal.
Oh no, I think that's a big mistake.
So do show me your arsenal.
I think that's a big mistake too. You can just go for it, dude. I trust you with my cards.
Oh well, I'm just gonna search it.
I only have 3 weather cards in my deck.
I do know you have
there.
3 weather cards in your deck, but they are also the only weather cards on the entire game that don't prevent attacking.
True.
So I'm just gonna get rid of these 2 terrifying storms here.
The other thing that they do that's really important to understand is that they are the only ones that will deal with, I think, Ivan's
Silos.
Silos, but
I know.
I think you don't care about that.
No, I don't. Not at this moment, yes. Alright, then I will produce stuff and put my cards in my hand.
Okay, we got a question here from Sparky. It's kind of not related to this match, but it does relate to multiplayer battles. So he's asking for a multiplayer match with Emperor as a leader. When you pop his 5 ability, his ultimate, it says to double your unit's attack for each enemy. Would you double it, then double that again, or is it just double the base attack value of your unit?
It's double the base attack value. We actually have a rules clarification on this on the website. If you go to warsaken.com/standard,
Okay.
you can see the details. You can look up his ability specifically.
Yes.
But basically, it's not a multiplier. It doubles the base value for each of the players. So it would double it for the first player, then it would double the original value for the second player, then it would double the original value for the third player. So you're increasing by the same amount for each player that there is effectively.
Cool, got you. And that's a great. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's a great spot to go to, and to really get the extra definitions if you're ever wondering on certain things.
Right, and what I did here, we got up the game. I spent some resources to play Propaganda and increased my morale by 4. I also played Cheetah and Missile Silo and 1 card face down, and it's Ivan's turn.
Okay, so first one thing I need to do is discard my level. Let's use some
Currently, I think it's
timers.
not a 4-way, but possibly in the future. This is the first 3-player rendition that we've seen.
It's actually funny, you don't probably even realize just how fortunate you have been. I drew like 100 practice hands for this deck, and this was probably one of the 2 starting options, well, not starting, but draw sequences that prevent my deck from going live. So let's go. This is just turned interesting.
Yes, Utopia, that is definitely the goal.
So now I try to use 9 resources.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Utopia. Just so you know, the Tabletopia experience is sort of a what I guess I would call a stopgap. It's a solution that allows us to play without being physically co-located with an opponent that we want to play with. But it is something that is we're planning to automate the process and enjoy being able to play against each other. The same way that you play Blitz in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next thing I want to do is waste 3 resources and play these cards. So
I wanted to mention for the new people, like Drabs would told me when I first started, you guys get a little sticky note and put the actions like draw, reduce, produce, play, battle. That way, I that's what I put on my screen here. I got a little sticky with those 5 actions. I would suggest you guys do that. I mean, that's just me. It's just Drabs.
It's that's a great way. That's a great way to like remember the steps for
So
sure.
I put a little tiny sticky note on my one of my screens here. Draw, reduce, produce, play, battle. So get that in your guys' heads. Drab kept beating it in my head, and you have to get that in your brain.
I'll actually drop the link for you guys as well to the Warsaken standard video, it's only an 8-minute video, and I recommend you watch that.
It's very
to really
informative.
understand it. Yeah.
The how to play video. Yeah, that one was pretty well done. There's a lot of detail in that.
Very well done.
Yeah, that's definitely something new players should go and look. It explains everything in detail.
And
Get
then
those 4 steps.
I'm always interested in playing new players, so I'm always down. Even War Never Changes here. He's usually down as well to play new players and really bring them through. But it's good to get a match under your belt and then almost go back and watch that video again, just to be like, oh, okay, like there's just certain things that may click or may be a little bit more apparent after you've played a battle too.
Hey, Relay, yeah, what's up? It is me. We're witnessing this epic 3-way battle.
Yes, 3 for all. Let me just do that this way so it's a bit easier.
I can see Ivan doing some tricky stuff with these 3 drone.
Which is what I wanted to do, to be honest. That's one of the best combinations you can do with the drones. Just go for the
9 intel.
Yeah, just go for the secret drone mission and just play the multiple copies, and you can interlock hot bonus, which Ivan, by the way, did. Neither Brandon or I can currently use any inter cards.
Did you play those, or are you actually just
He
pulling them?
played them. Which is really powerful because I am an inter leader. If I cannot play inter cards, I cannot win. So that's a strong position there.
then I find a specific card for my arsenal, and I'll play it.
Oh, Ivan's doing great moves.
1 more damage.
There's a reason he's the 2 times champion. I was really interested to see.
I was excited to watch. I've never actually seen Ivan, and
I've never got to play against him either.
never
Different
got to
time
watch.
zones. So
Okay.
I keep telling people I'm good, but he's the master. No one believes me.
Ivan,
Now you see.
Ivan, are you in Russia, Ivan?
Yes, I am.
Where are you at? Where are you?
Moscow region.
Okay. I grew up in Meriel, Yoshkarola. Do you know where that is?
Yes, I know.
That's where I came from.
And I'll play this one.
he's
Ooh.
hyper focused right now.
Yes, I am. I'm super focused.
Wow.
Enjoying.
Ooh, I really like what you're doing here. Okay, and again, Lost in Blizzard.
Yeah,
Holy
I'm done.
smokes.
It's your turn, Brendan.
Perfect. Thank you.
So,
I'm gonna go ahead and
Brandon.
draw one.
You look at Brandon, like you went with some absolute behemoth territories in here.
Yeah, I see that.
Big numbers.
He also wants some really big units. You will see soon.
Yes. There it is. Our
Hey.
favorite ship,
That's what I used on you last night.
the Kraken, an absolute monster of a unit.
A savage card.
And now anything else but Brandon's legions don't have stealth. So, we
one
lost
of
the
the,
stealth
one of the-
advantage.
yeah, one of the strategies that I was trying to employ was the ability to block people from being able to block me, basically. And so with that, my Kraken can't be targeted by anything. There's nothing that can stop it. And so by playing a Kraken with Seek, although it's a really heavy hitter at 190 when I can strike with it, there's not going to be very much that can be done to prevent my stealth units now. So obviously the main thing that can be done is the blocking of general attacks by weather and other such things. So
Yep.
Heck, what a savage card. That's such an amazing card.
okay, and now I'm going to produce. I have a TX6 that's going to produce 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I'm going to use my play phase for a total of 9 in addition to what I have now, which should put me at 10. So 10 resources in hand.
Lace the Kraken.
So I'm going to go ahead and pull need for this card I'm going to play and reduce this down by 3. 1, 2, 3. This over, drop that down with one timer.
I like how you put the counters on here too. I think that's what I'll implement going forward. I've always just put the resources, but then it gets so messy. So I really like.
I
just
like
having
that
it
too,
on.
Dreps. I was thinking that myself. That is great.
So there's little shortcuts that help to keep track of the game.
Right.
Yeah, just cleaner. Looks nice and clean.
Mm-hmm. This is really important in a game like this, while the field is going to be a bit cluttered. Yep.
Especially when there's 3 or possibly even 4 in the future. Like, this is very clean looking like that.
Oh, there definitely is Infinity. There definitely is.
I need to check one thing quick.
And so another thing that we've never really got to see is the leader abilities affecting multiples, right? So like, what's Baron's ultimate do? Find 1 Navy force and up to 3 other. Okay, so that one doesn't affect everybody. But Za, for instance, with the orbital railgun, each enemy territory takes 200 damage. He can't attack this turn, but that's each enemy. So both Brandon and War Never Changes territories will all take 200 damage.
Yep.
Everybody, that's right. That's crazy.
An all-around whammy move.
Big whammy.
Yeah, that's a huge ability, guys.
Actually, I think this has no timer. Yeah, this is ready now.
Ooh, Gemini.
Ooh, Gemini.
I grabbed the resources, but I shouldn't have. I just forgot that it doesn't have a timer.
This is a really brutal powerful card, especially because it has no preparation time. One of the highest attack values. Actually, the highest attack value of all the 0-turn cards.
Yeah. Yeah, this is. I really want to get some stuff going with Ace on these Geminis and.
Crazy.
the
Hits first
highs.
and before crack shot.
Yep.
That is so cool. Not affected by anti-air. The hypersonic is amazing too.
I'm gonna do a little cleanup here. Oh no. I mean to grab that.
Yeah, it's really easy to accidentally pick things up on Tabletopia. Just have to always try to remember to click something on the empty space before you grab a card.
Right.
Okay, and since I cannot attack, I'm gonna go ahead and pass the turn to War.
Okay, it's my turn.
And War, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're locked out of the Intel War as well, right?
Yep. And unfortunately for me, if I were playing Lockwood, I would be really happy now. But I'm not. Okay, so what happens here is the effect resolves, so the X6 gives me 2 resources. I'm gonna use my leader's ability, which is called Insight, and I'm gonna draw a card and get 1 intel. Oh, thank God. Okay, now I'm gonna produce resources, so I get 6 from the territories and 2 from my other tier 6, so that's total 8 resources to my silo. Okay, and then I'm gonna play this face down, the timer on it, and put a 2 on it, because I will be using 2 resources for this one.
I really like that marker idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm done using resources on the table.
This one also uses 2 resources, so I'm gonna produce those 2.
Well, if it makes sense if you have the colossal warehouse, right? But I mean, if you're just using territories, then I would still put resources on it, right? But the colossal
guess,
warehouse,
yeah. I see what you're saying.
Then I will save the rest of my resources and end my turn. And thanks to the weather, I'm unable to attack, so I cannot attack.
Okay. So over to Ivan.
The weather's playing is sort of forcing us to be a very neutral, neutral board. So I've got these big forces over here. I want to swing with them, and I just can't. And that's the power of weather in the game. And the solution to sort of like pushing weather out of your way is to play your own weather cards, right? But War took a couple of mine, which reduced my probability of having one, and I just haven't had one to knock it out.
And Ivan forced me to discard 9, which is unfortunate.
Right, yeah, the subversion tactic early. So
Yeah.
Ivan's doing really good here to like control the pace of the game heavily.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to use it that early, to be honest. That really backfired. I thought you wait before a bit later.
It's easy ready, but I will keep it
Mm-hmm.
as I can. Then produce 9 resources.
Nice.
So, and another big, contributing factor too is like the weather. It stays on the field until it's his turn again. So since Ivan played it, it went to Brandon and then it went to War and it stayed active all during that time, right? And then when it came back to Ivan, that's when it got burned. But it's just having it effective for both of those extra turns. It's just, it's again another layer to deal with. It's just like, wow, okay.
That's a really good point, Infinity. I love what you just said. Holding a rummage is in hand is equivalent to a hard counter to subversion tactic, which is a really good strong point.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both intel cards, right? So you've got to, that's the thing here. Like I've played it with a lot of people, and a lot of the pre-made decks you don't see intel quite as heavily leveraged, but you can see how important the intel war can be, because without the ability to play any intel cards, War and I are now at a disadvantage that's difficult. Like we're going to have a real struggle to keep up in that space.
Yeah, massive disadvantage.
Yeah, and so like, how do you have a plan, to like get back into the intel war? Is there a strategy that you can employ? And if not, you're going to just be sitting there watching your opponent joyfully dig through their arsenal and find all their favorite cards and pull them all out while you sort of like hope that you top deck the thing you need. And I think that's a really critical difference between Warsaken and a lot of other cards. Like there is a way to lock people out of their ability to play certain types of cards, and it's powerful.
Yep.
-5. Interesting.
Infinity.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Just keep quiet so I can take the championship.
Yeah, Infinity's has been waiting in the wings to get in on one of these harder games.
Yep.
Sorry, I kind of missed what's happened here. What's the -5 for?
It's
That's
cards. Do you want me to place vessels?
77X prototype. It's the tank that can't be blocked.
Oh, I see. There's
Yeah.
5 resources. Here's just declaring that there's 5 resources on there using negatives. Okay. All right.
Okay, they
But-
just got even more dangerous now. Okay.
I want to use my Blitz, so I'll find the drone.
Yeah, I like that, Cubo. Subversion tactic paired with targeted sabotage follow-up, though, negates the redraw counter. Yep. So you could get them to, what he's talking about there is targeted sabotage allows you to look at the opponent's hand and discard a card from it. So you could do that, you could see the hand, you could see the rummage in there if they're holding onto it, and then run into subversion tactic and really hurt.
So I picked this drone and placing a counter on it, and I'm done.
Okay, so no weather blocking me this time from swinging.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Things
All
are
right,
gonna
I'm draw
go
a card.
boom.
Yeah. We got action.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and reduce timers.
Ah, yikes. You see that, you guys? You got 2 dice up there. He's reducing. And just send his
So
Valor.
why can't I get this dice? There we go. Put that back there. Reduce this to 1. So the thing that's important for me to remember is that while my leader ability will go off next turn, War Never Changes and Ivan's abilities will fire off really soon. So I have to be a little bit careful here in making sure that I'm prepared for that. I'm gonna put these dice back and flip over these cards. We'll start here.
Ooh.
I've got a GR Viper, which will gain me 2 intel.
Very nice.
Oh, dang it. Do that.
Viper's got the stealth too, you guys.
What's that?
Oh, it's just talking to the chat.
And then I'm going to this one over, and this one has pick off. And so I'm able to pick off a Navy force, so I'm going to go ahead and pick off that GR Current there you got.
Nice.
That immediately removes that from the table, which is a great thing for me.
Yeah, I had to get a confirmation on pickoff the other day because me and Chow were playing with it, and we were like, does it activate on flip? That's how we were originally doing it. And then Bordel was actually saying, well, does it activate when the unit blocks? Like, so if I was to block with that unit, does it just instantly take out a unit? And I was like, I think it activates on flip. We did get the confirmation that it was a flip effect, so.
Technically, it activates on ready state, which usually means flipping face up, but it can also mean swapping sides on the field to effect that lets you take control over a card.
Right.
It's basically when something goes away from the field, unless it's picked into hand, it's considered mechanically eliminated. So once it swaps sides, it's kind of enters the game new and it's ready again. So that's when the pickup fires again.
Yep,
No,
so
but-
it got hijacked or something.
hmm But normally it just fires once on ready state, which, as mentioned, is usually when it's split face up, or in case of Mark Rockwell, when played on the field.
Okay, so I want to call out what I'm doing here for my opponents. I'm going to play 2 cards, kind of not back to back effectively.
hmm
The first one I'm going to play is this, but it has a timer of 1. However, I'm also playing a cut corners to pull it back right now.
So you pay 2 more to play it immediately, basically.
Yep.
And so this is going to be ready at the moment. So I'm going to go
Mhm.
ahead and put this back, and this is also going to gain me 2 intel.
That's got to be one of your favorite cards, eh? I see.
Wow.
So now,
that cut
the
corner.
thing that's important to understand here is that you have to be, in order to play, you have to be, basically, Ivan has to be 6 ahead of me in order for me to not be allowed to play. But so now I've re-entered the intel war.
Yep.
Mhm.
He's only 5
Yeah,
ahead
so-
of you, so you can use intercuts.
Now I'm going to pay 2. and play this and do hacked network against Ivan, which will increase mine by 2 and
6,
take
right?
away 2 of his.
Oh
Ivan,
wow,
please reduce your intel by 2.
that's a huge
Oh,
move.
your intel got moved there.
And then I'm going to do that again.
Yikes!
Oh,
Oof.
Wow!
Oof. Now we
Oh,
have a new
wow.
Intel leader.
Holy
And-
smokes!
And that's when, just take a little victory lap for a moment.
And now you,
Oh
for
wow!
people
blow the kazoo.
for people that don't realize it, what he did was impressive because not only he swapped Ivan from the Intel position away, but he's swapped just enough Intel for himself that he still prevents me from using Intel cards.
Yep.
Wow!
If he had just left it before, like with +6, I could be able to use all my Intel cards next turn.
Now one makes that much difference. That's crazy.
That makes massive difference. That was impressive. To be
Wow,
honest.
you guys! Whew.
Okay.
Impressive, Brandon. Impressive.
Now,
Don't count out Brandon.
I'm gonna
yet.
take a quick look here
Right.
at what I can swing at because it's important. So the other thing to note is I have stealth on some of my submarine. In fact, all of my submarines.
I'll do it.
And I also have my Kraken out and my
Oh my!
Gemini GX.
Oof,
So
this is gonna
I
hurt.
can swing. I can swing pretty hard this turn. We'll see. I'm a little hesitant, to be honest. Like, just to be like super frank, I'm a little hesitant to do that because I'm a little worried about what's going to happen next turn with some of these cards that are going to come out, and the abilities that are going to go off. But I think I feel comfortable enough that I'm going to attack with some stuff for sure. And I'm going to be focusing on Ivan because Ivan's abilities are going to be hurting War. And honestly, it's not that I don't think War is a threat. I just feel like Ivan's going to be dealing a lot of damage that I can pick up from.
Yeah. And War's in a kind of a little bit of a, like, he's only got 2
Yeah, he's in a
cards,
little
like-
bit of a pinch right now too. Yeah,
Right.
so I'm thinking about like ways that I can be smart about what I got to do here. Okay, so that being said, I need to pick my targets here. Need to look at this for just a second. So maybe you guys can carry chat for a moment while I kind of evaluate.
Yeah. So what do you think so far of the battle, Mitri? How you liking this? Like, what's you're seeing different leaders, like
Seeing a lot of different,
patterns?
different cards that I haven't seen yet and played with.
Yep.
Looks very interesting. And I've just picked up so much from these guys, like just how to tidy up the board here, and
For sure.
just
Well,
look
and certain combos, intel
Certain
locks. We've seen
that's right.
intel locks change.
and
We've
how
seen
they're.
so many
Oh,
things.
this is great. This is huge. Yeah, just amazing. Seeing the new layers unfold and just so much to learn from all these. Like these guys are OGs right here. Yeah, this is fun.
Well, it's
Oh,
really cool to see
this is-
Brandon play too. Like, I played with War lots. I've never played with Ivan, and I'm really liking his play style. There's definitely a reason why he wasn't the 2 standard champions.
Low key humble, doing his thing. Watching, observing his opponents, and
But
Yeah,
even
that-
in the battle between Relay and Warsaken yesterday, or on Thursday there, it was, looking like Relay had a pretty good advantage. They got the Apex out. They had a pretty good starting point. And then that
came
G
in and
Titan,
crushed.
yeah, Brandon hit some really good cards, hit the G Titan, and just kept going and going, and then took him out with that.
So Ivan, I'm going to strike with these three only, at your Pawns Research Center.
And I can block.
Nope, you cannot block. They have stealth. All 3 of them have stealth, and I have Seek, so you are stuck with dealing with all 3 of that damage.
that's 260 damage, right? Oh yeah, that's all.
Yep. It's enough to
So,
get through
what's the
without
stealth
being
possible?
impeded.
260, yeah.
That's a huge hit.
So we take the first. So I take first blood here, and my turn is now over, and it is now passed to War Never Changes.
All right, let's get this party started, people. Okay, reducing timers. My ability is ready on leader, but I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to put it here. Release that.
Right, Infinity.
Yep.
These 3 only.
And then I'm gonna flip the... Oh, sorry, no, that was a 2. I'm gonna flip this one. So let's do some search mechanics here, people. But first, let's activate the abilities in order. The 6 activates, so I get 2 resources. Also, my advanced weather station activates, so I get to find a weather from my deck. And I'm activating the XTT's deploy mechanics, so I get to find 3 soldier forces from my deck. So if it's fine for you two, I'm just gonna find a weather and resources at the same time, just the same time.
Yep, sounds good.
Nice.
Okay. Let's do a little.
So yeah, what he's doing now is he's going through his arsenal, just as like some of the other abilities work, like Zoffs, where you can find a drone, and he's finding 3 soldiers. He has to show them to the enemies, and then he puts them in his hand, and then shuffles.
Okay, and then I got the choices here.
That could be a huge card too, Drabs. You know, that could be crucial.
That's
No,
okay,
I
SKG.
want the other one.
You know, I wouldn't say there's really anybody that's super good like these guys are, but you know, it's just a learning experience right now. And like I say, if you're really interested in learning, like you don't even need to get the Tabletopia. I can just send you invites to games, right? But I still do recommend you get an account, like if you want to go onto the leaderboard and start getting those hours up and whatnot.
Yeah, I would. It's free, and I mean, and if you want to pay, it's like I think what it was, $20 a year. Some Drabs.
War, how much was it?
Free.
Yeah,
No,
the
to pay for the Tabletopia.
Tabletopia is entirely free, but there are some subscriptions if you want to support it, which are basically a couple of bucks. You can just
yeah, I
take
think it was like
little
$20 for a whole year or something.
Mhm.
It wasn't very expensive, but you can
And I
get
think
it for free, guys, too.
The main thing that the subscription kind of gives you is there's 2 things. We actually do get if you spend a lot of time playing Warsaken and you're a subscription holder, we actually do get a small sliver of that revenue, which isn't a lot. But and then the second factor, so you're kind of supporting the game and Tabletopia in general. But then the other thing that it does, which is kind of nice, is that you can keep a lot of multiple games open. When you are playing free, you can only keep, I think, 2 games open, 1 or 2 games open. But you can keep many more if you have the subscription.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a lot of things now pretty fast, so I'd like to explain what I'm doing. What I did there, I added all the resources. I'm not using it yet.
You
I'm
need to reduce GT10.
I don't have to
counter.
use it. It's a repeating timer. I can delay it as much as I want. It's same as leader abilities. I don't have to use it.
Yep, it's not a required.
Well, I mean
Oh.
to reduce only.
I'm just gonna keep the 1 here because it's kind of ready on concentrate on 1. So, but I can put a 0 here if it's easier for people to understand.
I think if you just take the dice away or you leave a 0
Yeah.
there, it's really easy.
As for the leader timers, I like to put the dice top of the leader, so it's kind of like shows it I'm not reducing it. Okay, so I have 80 resources now on Colossal Warehouse because I added all the resource production from my unit stuff on the field. So I'm gonna use 2 resources there and play as Specialist Glowmore. That gives me 1 intel, which by the way puts me out of intel block.
Nice.
And now I will be checking my first 4 cards to recon effect, and I can put them back in exact order I want, and one of them is gonna be coming to my hand. Oh, interesting.
Wow.
Very
Good
interesting.
card. He needed that.
Okay, interesting. I'm gonna put no, not this one. I'm gonna put this one here first. And I think the card that I had there, well done. I believe it's this one. It's not that one. Sorry.
Gets him some intel back.
I'm just gonna give a bit of. Sorry, it was APC. No, fuck it. I'm gonna put this down here. The card I had in my hand, that one, it fell through. It was. It was the same card as here. I'm just gonna find it so I'm good.
These are some quick shuffle moves you're doing, War.
I know, but I'm also recording this, so there shouldn't.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm just kidding.
I'm just gonna show.
Slide
Where the hell did it go? I mean, one of my cards just disappeared. I didn't put it back on the deck.
Which card was it?
It was a copy of this one, so I'm just gonna check the 2 first one. I had the captured leader. It went in. I didn't put it in. It went in. I don't know why.
Must have accidentally had it selected or something. And
Yeah, but anyways, it doesn't matter if you see my hand or not because you don't have any cards that can remove these cards.
it's true.
So
Nice
I'm
to
just
know
gonna
what
put,
you're gonna do.
yeah. This one goes to my hand, but for technicalities, I'm gonna do it that way.
Yep.
So sorry about that. I showed my hand because that was weird. I don't know why they went through. So I just wanted to show what I had in my hand. So I'm kind of like playing it honestly. Okay, so then I'm gonna play Secret Role Mission for 1 resource, and that gives me 3 intel. So I'm up to 6 now. And then now I have an interesting choice. Should I do this? Yeah. I'm gonna spend 2 resources, and I'm gonna play Field Research and draw 3 cards.
Very nice.
And then I will be removing this one. I will be using 1 resource to play Dispatch Agent, and I'm gonna eliminate Glowmore, which I had on the field, and I get to find a specific card and take it in my hand.
Yep.
Oh wow.
And now I'm gonna.
Oh, hey, quick ask on this card. Me and Chow ran into this situation. If you don't have a soldier, then
Yeah, that's a good question. I can answer that. I know where you're going with it. So normally when you play this card, you're supposed to discard a soldier card from your legion and then find a specific card from your arsenal and put it into your hand and then shuffle your arsenal.
Yep.
The problem is the wording on the card doesn't make it clear that you have to have done the soldier beforehand. So if read and used as text is on card, you are not required to have a soldier down to make it work as it is right now, technically. However, we are planning to update that card so that the text reads, find or discard a soldier from your legion if you do find a specific card in your arsenal and put it into your hand, shuffle your arsenal.
Perfect.
If you do.
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
So it'll just be a small tidbit. They've done that, I think, right? You've updated.
Yeah,
a
we've
few.
done a couple of very minor tweaks, and there are 3 cards that we have planned to do some very minor tweaks to help in set 1 that are still something that we can update the images for, and so that they'll reflect properly in all the different places that you see your NFTs show up if you're using the NFT client. But in this game and on the physical product, those will all be updated as well in the physical cards.
Yeah.
Alright, I just paid 3 resources to play a novel platform card, which lets me find 3 different intel cards. This time I have to show them to you though. And I'm gonna pick Set Algorithm, another novel platform, and then should I do this or not? Let's
novel
see.
platform?
6.
I feel like War. If you and I can lock Ivan out of the intel war, he's going to be in a real tough
I
bind
know,
because
that's the thing. I'm
he doesn't have anything
considering
to build. He doesn't
should I
have the
do it or
ability to
not.
build. None of his cards in his deck have the ability to build intel other than intel cards.
Don't whisper into my ears, Snake.
It's like,
I just noticed that when I was building it, and I was like, I think I need to get him locked out of the intel war early. That was one of the thoughts I had. But then he played that dang move so early, and
Yeah, I knew I need to lock Ivan out of the intel war, but I couldn't do that.
that was a deadly combo that he played.
Right? Wow.
Okay, then I will use 1 resource and play Search Algorithm and put the cards up on my deck.
I feel like Ivan's just being real quiet and humble. He's got some up his sleeve.
he's always that way, man. He always does that.
Okay.
Every time I'm playing him, I see him play. I'm like, what's he thinking about over there?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
all of a
he's
sudden, he pulls
planning.
these crazy moves, and I'm like, I didn't even know you could do that with my own cards that I designed.
That's awesome.
Mm,
Love that.
Sitting there like Dr. Evil petting his cat.
Okay, I'm gonna pick
It
this
is
one.
interesting to see people, I think it was Backers, one of our Discord members, had come up with like the improper play of
Actually,
Roman's
not
prototype
this one.
on purpose.
Yeah, Packers made you change rules twice, I think.
Yeah, I was like, dang, we have to put a rule in place on that. Like, that's got to be something we can't let happen too often. It's just interesting to see people kind of, try and break the cards, flex the cards.
Right.
They've been pretty stable, for everything. We've got stuff like that dispatched agent that need kind of like a quick tweak to it, and we could put that in the official rules so that it's more clear. But we want to make sure that the on-card things are obvious and clear as well.
Okay, I used the damage for 2 resources, so I'm drawing 4 cards. One of them is, of course, what I wanted it to be. And then let's see.
War's going with rummage.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna... Yeah, I need to do this. Sorry, Ivan. I'm gonna play one Secret Door mission and increase my intel by 3. And I also know this means Brandon
no.
has some counters for that. And let's see, I have currently 9 intel cards in my discard, but that's not what I want quite yet. And I also know I don't need to take Ivan out yet, so that's unfortunate for me.
Right, Cubos?
This is
Just look at on these forces.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm not taking you out. Okay, I'm gonna be playing.
We all need each other to kill each other.
I'm
Shape
playing
up for
using
average
real
now.
resources, and I do believe both of you gentlemen just use your ability on the last turn. I'm gonna play Renzo the boss, so have fun skipping your next draw, and I get to draw 1 card.
Oh, wow.
Wow, this is just shaping up for something.
And
That's the first time I've gotten to see Renzo, so he's a
These
supplier.
supplier rules, you know, that was one thing I really didn't think that deeply about when we were building our decks, and I regretted after seeing you play Renzo. I was like, I should have at least put 1 supplier somewhere in my deck so that I could counter that. The beauty of suppliers are that all of them have the same price, and all of them have the same mechanic called territorial, which says eliminate all other supplier forces. So if a supplier is played, you know, it eliminates all other suppliers on the board. So it encourages you to have more copies than 1 in your arsenal, but it doesn't really allow you to have more than 1 of these really strong abilities on the field.
Yep.
alright, that's my turn, and I just played Freezing Rainstorm, so you are unable to attack or block, and neither of you can produce power from territories. And it's my turn. Oh,
Wow.
just a reminder, I didn't use my leader ability, it's still ready.
Yeah, but Luke
Just, the-
has no territory.
And also,
no one has any power, but that's great.
and,
That's good. No attack.
and just a friendly reminder that neither of you can draw a card right now.
Yeah, okay. So I'm starting.
We skip our draw step. I want to clarify that just so that we're clear. So we skip the draw step on our next turn, which is what both Ivan and I will do. But you know, there is still the ability to play an intel card or something like that.
Yeah. So Brandon could play an intel. And,
Yeah, okay, let's check this one.
okay,
Each
so
player
nuclear
loses
aftermath. We all lose 2 moral, and we lose all but 2 cards on the field. So I'm just gonna get rid of my doggo, and I'm gonna get rid of my AP. And Renzo already did his job, so bye bye Renzo. And I'm gonna lose 1 of my DX6s, and I think this hurt Brandon quite a bit.
That did. That was a big hit.
Yeah, I have to get down to 2 forces, right?
Yeah, down to 2.
Yikes. Yeah, just a friendly reminder.
And thank you for that -2, by the way. That's made my life a lot easier in next turn, Ivan.
-2.
Already reduced.
Great finale gonna be.
Oh, this is gonna be so fun.
Yeah, this is wild so far.
This is
Really
crazy,
wonderful.
man.
I have no idea. You know, I thought War was in a pretty compromised position, but he.
Me
just-
too.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
It was over.
I were doing horribly. I drew all my cards that don't allow me to get my game going, basically. But not a single card on my deck is useless. So they all have value for me, but not on that exact same moment. And it let me have an impressive resource pile, which, as you saw, kind of got me back in the game, thanks to Brandon going after Ivan there.
I thought you were done. Yeah, you just impressive, man. That's crazy.
I
This
think
game is
that's
awesome.
the thing that's cool about a multiplayer game in general, right? Like when you're playing more than one person, it like there's so many things that you're kind of like, well, I think we should all gang up on this person right now, and you kind of can sense it, right? Ivan seemed like he was taking the lead. Both War and I were looking at each other like, I gotta go focus on Ivan right now. Then we focus on Ivan for a minute, and then War kind of flips the table. I kind of flip the table on everybody for a second, like, and you just kind of see this like shift, and everybody goes, "Holy crap, we got to focus on this person now." And
Yeah.
you end up inevitably having this, you know, kind of shifting focus or target for who needs to be dealt with, and impacts how everybody plays, what they play, when they play it, and how many forces they put down, and how many intel cards they play. Just a lot of really interesting things happen because of that.
I'll use my second ability and deal
Okay, so
100 damage to
so-
every territory.
So each
Okay.
territory takes 200 damage.
and it's called Orbital Railgun, one of the most powerful abilities in this game.
Yeah, so you can combo that. Zoth has cards like Relentless Raid. If you can get a couple of those out, that you can wipe entire territories all at once. And that's always fun to do.
Mhm.
I think it's really cool that the intel has swapped between all three as well this match.
Just
That's really
been
neat.
going. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
This is great.
that's what happens when the players understand the importance of intel warfare in this game.
Very
So-
important.
Mhm. It doesn't come
One
into
thing
play
we
much
did-
on the pre-made pairs in Tabletopia, but for a real Warsaken game, it's one of the most important aspects of the game.
For sure. So that's
It
where
is.
Shadow Torture could be, a lot more important, risky card, but
Hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, I
That
wanted to say too, everybody had Rummage, eh? Right? You seen that, Mitri? That like everybody ran Rummage in their decks. So
Yeah. Everyone did.
a little bit of an
I love it
indicator.
too. Like I said, I've been reading. Well, you and I have been playing more and more, and I've been, doing homework, and I really like that card.
Yeah, being able to draw more cards, I think, is always a benefit.
Well, yeah, especially like if if they discard or whatever, like whatever the situation is, it's great, to pull it out and be able to. Like last night, I think when you intel locked me, remember I had a bunch of intel, I couldn't do anything, I had to draw.
Yep.
Mhm.
Right, I had to draw. I had nothing that I could do.
Yep, and none of us is interlocked at the moment, so Ivan is able to use intel abilities as well.
But yeah, Drabs locked me up, and I couldn't do anything.
So yeah, so he's now finding. I think you activated Push, Ivan. Is that
Yeah.
what you did?
Push. I did push on my last turn.
Ivan used a search algorithm to
Oh,
find
search
a card.
algorithm. Yes,
Mhm.
there we go. That's what.
Yeah,
Okay. So he just laid his hands off to here so he can go through his deck. That just signifies it's a little easier to separate, right? And then you can find the card that you want, put your deck back down, shuffle, and go on.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to look at it, put it back in. Yeah, that match that you and I had last night, Drabs, that was a pretty fun one too.
That was, yeah, no. I can't wait to try this out now.
Yeah.
Do a three-way in this with a couple.
And that's what I did last night on Drabs, you guys. I put that Kraken out as soon as I could.
And that's what Brandon did too, right? Like
Yep.
he got to go first, and he had the G-Force Kraken in his hand. That's very, very, very powerful.
But I did two first 8 cards I drew last night. I pulled a G-Force Kraken.
You can't play it Infinity, yeah, if you're locked, for sure, for
That's
sure.
right.
Something tells me Brandon still has something on his sleeve related to the intel warfare, but we'll see.
Oh, this is gonna be crazy.
Okay, now let's see what Ivan will pull out of his
Yeah,
sleeves.
I'm searching for the card.
He's got something. He's got trickeries.
And so since he
Ivan's
activated-
probably in a really Ivan's kind of in a strange situation where he hasn't compromised anybody yet. He's used his ability. So of all of us who have final abilities, no one has used them except for Ivan. So typically what you want with that is to have, really done a death blow. And he really did do quite a lot to reduce the health of all of our territories, which is great for, the sake of, basically, getting back into it and
Okay, I
keeping
ended
the
my
damage.
turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
You end your turn? Did you say that?
Yeah.
Okay, so Brandon's turn.
But the thing that's interesting is we're all kind of sitting at not compromised, Morale is pretty high between myself and War. Ivan's morale is pretty low because of that territory that got destroyed and some of the other stuff that's been going on. Intel has been going back and forth. It's very intriguing to watch. So I'm going to go ahead and draw for my first here. And I'm going to reduce timer. So my leader ability is now ready as well.
Thanks, Armada time.
Yeah, Valorant's ability is really dangerous.
1 Navy force and up to 3 other. So what's a unique Navy force?
So just they have to be different. So the first one can be anything, and then the other 3 can be anything as long as each of the 3 are different. So
Okay.
and they also have to have a timer on their cost of 1 or less. So it's something less than 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
less than 2.
And they're
Cool.
ready. And they're ready, chat.
Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah, ready to
Okay.
go.
So I'm gonna go ahead and
Yikes.
reduce my resources. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just gonna add the 7th.
Yeah. And you haven't actually, correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon, but you have not got to pirate any resources from them, have you?
No, and part of that's due to the sheer nature of like they do have lingering resources, but I can't specify them
Oh,
if they're on Colossal Warehouse, and so
everybody's
that
got
that is a strong counter to Seas Depot, but I'm still able to get a generic, and so it's got its perks.
That's true. Yeah, I forgot.
Awesome.
Everybody's got Colossal
The
out.
Colossal, yeah, I forgot about
Resources
that.
are all protected.
Interesting. So
The
that's a
c-
cool one.
The Colossal Warehouse, while it seems strong in this matchup, it's a bit of a rookie trap card as well. If you haven't optimized your deck properly and you use it, you can really hurt your resource game. For example, if I didn't draw my resource cards, I would have only been producing 6 resources a turn, which is quite a little amount of resources. But I had a lot of resource production cards in my hand, so I knew I can kind of like keep it accumulating to time, despite paying the extremely heavy cost of the Colossal Warehouse. But if I didn't have those cards and I played the Warehouse, I would have a lot less resources now, and I wouldn't have been able to do what I did last time.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's got that
So-
TX6.
So I just played a novel platform, and what that allows me to do is get 3 unique intel cards, but one of them can also be a novel platform.
Yep. And that's the thing. What I meant, he's gonna do something interesting with his intercards. I know he has a lot of those annoying little
great.
-2/+2 cards, which he's gonna be using on me, I bet.
So you can actually use another one. Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It can search
Yeah,
for
like,
each
yeah,
other.
you can chain them. You can chain them, but they again, like each of the 3 have to be unique.
Mhm.
And so-
Different. Yeah. That is really cool. Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna start off really quickly here by playing this.
Yeah, and I bet you're gonna use it on me, right?
I am, yes. So
Yes,
I will
am
go
I
up
still
by
here?
2.
Mhm.
We'll go down by 2, and that'll put Ivan close to being locked out, and War no longer in the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Danny's in the house. Welcome in, Shadows. We
How you doing,
this
Shadows? Yeah. Zara,
Saturday special. The 3-for-all.
with these 3 main
then
players, it's
I'm
been
gonna
awesome.
go ahead and play this.
Oh.
And Ivan, you're gonna take 2 morale loss, and then I'm going to
Why
gain
me?
Yeah,
50
damage.
because I'm not gonna be able to hit him for morale. That's why. Like, there's no
Oh.
point in going after him for morale. But you might be compromised, and I'm enticing Ivan by doing this, or sorry, War by doing this to go after Ivan because he's like the one that would be the most
Weakest link.
intelligent to hit with some stuff.
Yep.
Because getting one of us compromised allows a lot more options. So then I'm going to also fix 50 damage here on this territory.
Interesting.
And
minus
I
2 and then
use all
minus
of my
3.
resources to do that. And so then the main question is really, do I want to use my leader ability now or hold on to it? I think I'm going to go ahead and hold on to it, actually. And since I cannot attack because of the weather card, I will pass the turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna remove this one here.
So
And
now, Brandon,
start.
you reset your dice. Sorry, your
I have reset, so I just left it off.
You
So
just-
my
okay, I
leader
got it.
ability is ready to go on.
Okay,
on my-
now
Gotcha.
both of my leader abilities are ready, but I choose not to use them yet.
Ooh.
This one flips. And it has the token of 2, so you can check it. The advanced weather station also is reduced by 1. These two stay ready. Okay, so I'm gonna find 3 soldiers.
So in him holding back his leader ability too, you know, that's a pretty big key fact. Nobody's compromised yet, but if he waits till somebody's compromised and then brings all of those out, you can do quite a bit of damage. You might be able to instant, like he's already got a Kraken and a G4 and a Gemini, so those are gonna hit massively hard. But
What's really interesting too, just to understand this, like, so Ivan has this territory Hoard of Resources, which has a 6 required timer on it. And when that pops off at the beginning of his next turn, that's going to eliminate that territory. And when that happens, he will be compromised just off of that alone. So like, I no longer need to attack him. He basically is going to be compromised on my next turn.
Yikes.
Right.
And there's nothing he can do about it at this point unless he had something that gained.
Right, I
think
get
I'm about to inherit some Nickies.
I get total of 10 resources this turn, so I'm gonna add those here. And then I'm gonna play Novel Platform for 3 resources and find some cards.
Wow.
So, and if you see the amount of intel War's been playing, if you read Will, what he's all about, he's all about that intel.
Intel, it's all intel.
And you read his ultimate intelligence for each enemy, 2 territories, or 3 if you have the most intel. Each take 50 damage per intel card in your discard pile. He's got a lot in there.
Wow. Intelligence.
The intel count for how many intel cards he has in his discard Sevi, or just the intel amount around players? War is at 7. I think Brandon's in the lead right now at 10. And Ivan's got 5.
This one goes here. Okay, I have 7 resources there, so it can be a moment. There's something I really want to play this turn, but I'm not necessarily gonna be able to do.
It's interesting to see Ivan's cards here that he's got. So he's got one that has a 7 resources. I believe that's probably a Relentless Raid.
Okay, I'm gonna
Could
play
be.
DX6.
Sorry.
Sorry about interrupting there. Gonna play
Oh,
this
no, you're
one.
good.
And then I'm gonna use one more and play the City Drone mission, so I get 3 more intel. So now we are even. And then I will be using search algorithm. Also, wait, give me a moment.
So, since you're even now, would that?
Yeah, I'm gonna be
spend,
using.
like-
Yeah, so just to be clear, when like there are some things that say you have to lead the
Yeah.
intel war. Right now, neither of us are leading the intel war. We're just tied. So he would need to increase or decrease someone's
one.
intel in order to get to the lead.
Oh,
position.
actually,
Which I think he's trying to do to make it so that like he can use his ability and deal 450 damage or more or something like that to free territories.
okay. Since I haven't searched anything yet, and I just placed this card here, do you allow me to take back this move? I just figured I can do something else here.
Sure. Yeah. I don't. Ivan. do you
Is it
care?
fine with Ivan? Okay, so I'm gonna add 1 resource back here and move this back to my hand. Sorry about that. I just got a bit too far ahead of myself instead of doing something way smarter.
You're so excited. You're so excited.
Yeah, I am. Because next I'm gonna use Commander Wilfred Lewis' Insight ability, which lets me draw a card and I gain 1 intel.
There you go.
So I'm ahead of your intel. And next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Wilfred Lewis' ability, which is called Intelligence. For each enemy, 2 territories or 3 if you have the most intel, which I have, each take 50 damage for each intel card in your discard pile. Which I happen to have, this neatly to separate pile, I have 11 intel cards in my discard pile.
So 550.
That's 550 damage to 3 territories for both of your leaders. So that compromises Ivan. And I do believe if I take out Vernon's supply factories, Waterloo Natural Gas Site, and Sanctuary on Brandon's end, that also compromises Brandon.
Oh,
Yeah,
The
it-
double
it-
compromise.
It does, and the
Yikes.
reason is because I used that cut corners, and then Ivan played that
corners.
that nuclear aftermath, which reduced in the morale. So
Yep.
this one's going to be flipped over, and I'm going to lose 6.
Mm-hmm.
oh, yikes.
Oh man, what a play!
And what were the
What?
other ones that you wanted? I can't remember.
Vernon's supply factories and Waterloo Natural Gas Site, that's total 80 moral, so yeah, you are compromised. Also, as Ivan also has only 3 territories, so those 3 territories are gone.
No. Oh yes, I don't know.
Oh wait! You don't.
I am trying
Oh
to.
yeah, you can't specify, but that'll be enough to
Okay.
compromise.
Yeah,
it
it will
anyway.
be still enough, but I can't. Your underground base is intact. That's true.
But
it's-
there is no word to specify.
Sorry.
There is no word to specify in your ability.
Yeah, there is, but I still select them, so I'm going to specify. But probably should add the
Oh.
specify on this one.
If you're selecting them, so
Yeah, that's based on that logic. Everything else but your underground base goes boom.
That was an impressive play.
That was insane.
And he still got more up his sleeve.
Yeah.
Right? He's not
Uh,
done yet.
Now remember, I have this lovely little G-Titan missile silo that I have been
Wow.
saving,
Titan.
which does 140 damage to territory building or leader, and in case of leader has to be compromised to be eliminated. So I'm sorry, Ivan, but you are out of the game. Boom.
Oh,
Oh my.
taking out the
GG.
champ.
And now this one has a 2-timer. And then I'm gonna spend the 5 resources I have to play a face down card here and put this on the 0. And since I don't want to give you any opportunities and ideas, Brandon, I'm gonna play a weather card, Last and Blizzard, which prevents you from attacking. It's your turn. Just gonna put the 1 here and the token here to represent that this one used 5 resources.
Holy smokes.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to produce. I'm going to reduce my other timer here to 0.
Yikes. What just happened, guys?
An absolute. He was planning that, right? I can't believe the turn of events on like how things fell into place. He got those rummages. He got the.
I thought War, like, I think if Brandon didn't go after Ivan, I think War would have been done, yeah.
Yep, I would have. I did
I
have.
think that's what happened.
I did have a counter for that. I could have taken 2 Nikas with the XT on my hand next turn and just swapped them the belt evenly, which would put me in into game, but that would be delayed by 1 turn. Fortunately for me, I have the weather station which lets me find weather, so I have plenty of ways to stall the game. But Brandon still has weather card, which he can use to negate this one, I believe.
So I'm going to go ahead and use my first leader ability,
Mhm.
and I'm going to go find a
A Navy?
navy. Yeah. So I need to double check and make sure I've got what I'm looking for.
Find a specific Navy force in your arsenal, show it, and put it in your hand. Shuffle your arsenal. That's what he's doing right now.
I just want to make sure. I'm double checking a couple things. So
Take your time. I'm sorry about that, Ivan. I just had to do some payback for the 2 tournament games. Couldn't resist.
one. Yeah. Okay. So I know exactly which one I'm going after here. So I got to go find it. And actually, now that I think about it, I may not actually have it. You know what? I will, I guess, put this one in my hand because there's nothing else I can do.
it is the
with that.
thing that Brandon make this could happen because he reduced my intel. Yeah, thank you to him.
Yeah.
Right.
As I said, I had a backup plan that it would delay me 1 turn. And 1 turn in this game can be fatal. So
Okay, so I am going to now use my final ability, which says find 1 Navy force and up to 3 unique Navy forces in my hand with a cost timer of less than 1 and put them with my Legion. They're ready. The first one I'm going to drop is my
Mm-hmm.
other Kraken here. I will be also dropping 3 other unique cards with 1-timers. This one, this one.
Yikes.
Oof.
AV. Oh, wow.
Big damage.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly
I can-
confident that this is going to be for me, but
We swinging.
I don't know what else to do, so I'm going to try.
Well, you can't attack at the moment, so unless you remove this one.
With the weather.
Yeah,
It's quite cold outside.
I'm going to play Rummage here and draw.
Yeah, if you drew that last weather, you can do some serious damage here.
Yeah,
I
if you
think
get the
it's-
weather, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's enough to compromise him, Sevi.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has enough to compromise.
Oh, lucky.
Oh!
Oh, yeah,
oh.
right.
And we all lose 30 health on territories and buildings.
Yeah, right. He pulls it.
Well, he has
I
the
will.
luck of the leprechaun, I always say.
It was like pulling off a tenant chance.
More or
Right.
less. Oh,
Even
man.
in the heart of the cards, pulling the Terrifying Storm, which is one of the only cards that can really affect the G Titan, right? So, like,
Okay.
Brandon's in a compromised position, and if if Ward can get this off, he can take him out, I believe, right? He only has 130 health.
Mhm.
left.
Yeah, War could win here.
So getting that off, well, it's still on a timer though, Mitri, right? It's still on a 2-turn timer. So
Oh, right.
Is
Yes.
it reset after he took
So
out?
That's right. Reset.
Actually, hang on.
I
I'll
think
take
you can.
that one.
I think you can take pretty much all my territories out at once. To be honest,
Yep, you're right. I can.
you just hit the highest one. Well, everything is 170. So Kraken, Submarine, Gemini. Then you just slap the Barracuda and CBC Sark on the. Oh wait, you
You're
can't.
exactly-
You can't target underground base because it has to be the last 2 territories up. So you cannot take out the underground base this time.
You little bugger. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I will hold back both of these two so that I can use them.
Versus
Perhaps.
11 morale, I believe,
Well,
right?
we're gonna send
Oh, sorry,
DPC
22.
Shark and the 2 Krakens,
Okay, so
one
one
at
each.
one each territory.
Okay, so that's Vernon's gun, that's -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's Glasgow gun, so that's -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's full power district gun, so that's 6. 1, 2, 1, 6. And I have 4 more left. Phew.
You do have 4 more left.
Which is
Um,
exactly, by the way, the amount I increased my moral with propaganda card earlier.
Yep. It is your yeah. So there, it is your turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna draw a card here.
Ooh.
Reducing leader timers.
And I suspect that morale is critical for your gameplay. I'm not
Titan.
mistaken.
Alright, my advanced weather station goes off, but I'm pretty certain I don't have any weathers left, but I'm gonna search for them anyways soon. This one goes to 1, and this one flips, and it's captured leader card. So, as it says, attach this to a specific enemy leader eligible for attack. You are compromised, so you can attach that to us. That leader can't be specified or use any countdown abilities. Alright, so I cannot specify your leader. And your leader can't use any countdown abilities, and in 2 turns, that eliminates you. Alright, then I'm gonna reduce resources. I get 2 from the underground base, and I get 2 from the TX6s for each of them, so that's a total of 6. Alright. Then I will be using...
Nail-biter.
Okay,
It is.
then I'm gonna use 1 resource to play Disband Agents. I'm gonna sacrifice my DX8 and find a card which I want for my deck.
So they have to be compromised. Like, if you compromise them in the battle phase, like if you took out territories and compromised them infinity, then you couldn't target the leader for attack. But if you compromise them before the battle phase, then you could, right?
Yep.
So,
yeah,
like-
exactly.
Right.
That's one of the things that makes G Titan kind of violent.
Violent.
But he, you know, what's interesting about it is, you know, like there are ways to counter that captured leader card. Like I could, if I had calculated stagnation, I could slow that timer down. And because he's done because he's captured him and he can't specify him anymore, he can't use his G-Titan missile to target it.
And
So
you
there's some
also
really
can use cut corners on it.
I can. Here's the thing. I cannot use any timer reducing cards on your leader. Leader is unable to be specified, but there's nothing that prevents me from using it on the captured leader card itself.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna reduce my resources by 1 and play the card which I just took out with the cut corners. Now I
what
have
card
to.
could that be? That's shocking. I wasn't I didn't.
Now I have 2 options. I could use the key titan missile silo to eliminate by you, but it's way more fun to just see you self-destruct at the start of your next turn. So I'm just gonna reduce this by 1, so you will be eliminated on your reduction phase. And just in case, because I want to be mean, I'm gonna play Lasting Blizzard.
Oh snap!
It's your turn.
And I lose.
Your turn.
Sniper.
This is
Congrats,
crazy.
Warren.
Wow.
It was great, and I just we just so that I can say a couple of things about this game because I think it's so fun. But when we play Warsaken in Standard, it's so common that when 2 players are playing just by themselves, that it comes down to like the decisions you make throughout the game. They're so critical to the later end of the game, and it's a key part about Warsaken. When you are playing with more players, it just amplifies that. Like the decisions I made against Ivan, impacted his ability to be an early elimination. But it also meant that War wasn't focused on, and War was able to get ahead. Like you go back and you're like you start rethinking these decisions. Would that have been smarter to do this or smarter to do that? Whatever it is, I never walk away from Warsaken feeling like as a person who lost that I truly didn't have power over my ability to win. I've always felt like when I play Warsaken, I am the one who decides whether I won or lost. Like there's some level of randomness in what you draw, but you saw in the Intel battle that really happened in front of us. So many people were digging through their arsenal, grabbing the specific things they wanted and pulling them out. So there are ways you can build your deck to do that, and that comes at a cost. So those decisions in deck construction impact your abilities in the game, and it's all comes down to these decisions you chose to make. And it's one of my favorite things about the game. Ivan, thank you so much for playing. Do you guys have any other thoughts about the game?
Just want to thank you for me.
Really fun.
Yeah, exactly. This is really fun, and I'd like to thank you for making this possible. I finally had the chance to try all the things I knew are theoretically possible, but never could to do for real. So that's interesting. Thank you for that.
Was a good experience for next deck building.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun experience. It's a fun experience to build a deck. It's a fun experience to play a custom deck against people. Drabs, Mitri, do you have any other questions about anything?
No, man. Just keep on innovating, man. This what you've created here, and I think the viewers got to see really the deepness of Standard in this battle. There was so many changes going on from the Intel war to people being compromised. It switched. I was on edge, for the whole game. I didn't know who was going to take it. Until I started seeing War start to stack up and his master plan come in, because I took a peek at his deck, right? Like when you guys all posted it there, because that's what they did. They built their decks and then they shared it in the Discord, right? Just so it was transparent. You can't switch anything out or counter anything after, right? And I was looking and I was just like, okay, this is kind of cool, but I was really interested to see how his deck all formulated and stuff like that, and yours as well, right? There was. I was interested to see how everybody played out, and it was a wonderful match. Very, very, edge of your seat, thrilling. So thank you guys again. Brandon, thank you for taking the time to put all this together, coming on. Yeah, it's been wonderful.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Drabs, we did record this, right? So we can post this on YouTube for people to be able to take a look at. I think that'll be really good.
I also recorded the game, so we have multiple recordings of the match.
Yeah, I recorded it. I can either send that to you in a file or I can edit it down, however you want to do that. So.
Yeah, we'll send it to me in a file. We'll put it up on. I mean, you can edit it however you want for your streams. I'd love to have the raw version, so I can just kind of do a couple of video bumpers and post it up on.
For sure.
On our official channel, but
perfect.
Mitri, sorry, do you have questions, man? I feel like
I don't. I don't have any questions. I'm just loving learning from all you guys. Drab's been helping me a lot. We've been playing quite a bit. I've been watching Chow play all the time, and I'm just thankful, to be able to be a part of this. It was super fun learning and watching you. You guys have been at it for a while. It's just opening my eyes more and more, and I'm just in love with this game, and I just can't wait to what the future brings. And like I said, thank you again. It's been super fun, and it's gonna be.
I really appreciate Dimitri and Drabs, you guys hosting us. War and Ivan, thank you so much for participating. Been great. And this deck setup is live on Tabletopia, so if you want to go and try exactly the same cards that we just played, you can, and check it out and let us know how you feel about it. Make sure you join the Discord and get in on that Kickstarter before the time's out. You don't want to miss this first printing. There may not be a second printing, so I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that. There's a first printing. There may not ever be a second printing. At this point, we aren't sure that it makes sense for us to do that. And even if we were to do it, it may not happen for 10 years. So just keep that in mind as you're thinking about, deciding on whether or not you want to become a backer. Get in the Discord, like I said, join the community. We love to talk about the game, talk about, the marketplace of cards and understanding what's going on with each of them. You can get in on early play testing for set 2. And you can be, in and playing Blitz right now in our digital game. It's a wonderful game, brings people together, and I'm so happy for everybody to be here. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for everything.
Cheers.
Yes.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
All right. Have a good day, fellas.